Hi, my name's Frank Howarth. I'm Director of the Australian Museum. When I grew up in Sydney, one of the most formative events in my life was a visit I did as a primary school kid to the nuclear reactor at Lucas Heights. It was then pretty new. Maybe that was one of the things that got me into a career in science as a geology student. When I grew up as well, science was celebrated. Science was the sort of thing that brought us miracle wheat. Science put men on the moon. Science gave us new energy sources. And we, in the 1950s and 1960s, really celebrated science. Something's changed in the last 10 or 15 years. The world's got a much more complicated place. We've got these big issues facing the world. And science is a sort of a mixed bag at the moment. Worse still, we haven't got enough kids becoming scientists. At the moment, we've got a situation where people are getting a little bit wary about science. They've sort of got in the back of their mind the Chernobyl nuclear disaster and now Fukushima. And they're saying, well, are we getting the right sort of information from scientists? One of the bigger issues still that's top of everybody's mind, of course, is global warming or climate change, as it's more widely known. And people are wondering, who can I trust to tell me about what's actually going on? And to make matters even more complicated there, we've got a media that's using only a handful of very doubtfully reputable scientists who are saying that climate change either isn't happening or we didn't cause it or there's nothing we should do about it. And these climate change deniers are making life more difficult for the broader community, and the media is giving those people equal treatment alongside the vast majority of reputable scientists who are saying climate change is in fact happening. Now, we at the Australian Museum believe that one of the most important ways for us to change that situation is to work with a whole generation of young kids, older kids, to improve a literacy around science, to improve the ability to communicate about science, to give kids, even if they don't become scientists, a way of thinking about science that enables them to sift the bad information from the good information. And we believe that is what's actually going to make the world a better place. The sort of programs we have at the Australian Museum here range fairly widely. Just at the moment, we're in the middle of Science in the City, one of our long-standing programs related to Science Week, but in which we celebrate science. We have here in the city Science Week itself, but we have Science in the Bush and Science in the Suburbs. So we take the science message to the wider community. More widely in the museum, we have a big range of education programs, most of which are based one way or another around science, related to the science curriculum. Increasingly, we're using the Connected Classrooms program with video conferencing to work with more remote schools that would find it harder to get into the museum, and even to link up internationally with other schools so we start getting a dialogue between Australia and other parts of the world. We strongly believe that if you can come along and engage in those programs, whether formally with a school or informally as a family group, and during an event like Science in the City or during the year with our more general programs, then we're going to end up with a generation of kids that are better able to make decisions about the future of our planet, and it's those kids who'll determine that future. Thanks.